Hey guys, welcome back. Johnny Millennium and Robman just made a video that really, when I saw it, I got really excited because I like it when people do this. And what they did is they compared the Super Famicom to the Super Nintendo, and they said, which one they liked more, and gave their reasons why. And it ended up the Super Famicom won. Not to ruin it for anybody, go watch the video. It's still really entertaining. And I have to agree with them. You know, growing up, got the Nintendo and played the heck out of it, got a subscription to Nintendo Power, and then you started seeing pictures of something like this. And this console has always sort of haunted my dreams because it is such a beautiful, I mean, it's kind of yellowed, don't let that fool you, but it's a very beautiful, sleek, contoured system, and it really does look like the future. You know, Robman says that it looks like the future, and it's fun wrapped up in a package. And I really do agree with that. I think this is just a fantastic looking system. And then when, it was announced that we were getting this, which again, like they said, don't get me wrong, I love this system. It's my favorite system of all time. But it's a very boxy, very, kind of bland looking system. It reminds me a lot of actually automobiles in that, kind of in like, you look at all these old concepts and they're all very sleek, and then like cars of the 80s, the 70s and 80s were very boxy, which of course this was a 1990s system. But I read a story about the reason why they redesigned this for North America was because a lot of people were setting like cans of pop on top of the system and knocking them over, and it's getting, pop was getting down in the system, or just drinks in general, just getting down the system, and it's causing them to break. So when Nintendo was bringing it out to the North American market, they kind of made it this design so you can't really set a drink on it. That's just what I've read. But I do prefer the look of the Super Famicom to the Super Nintendo, even though this is really yellowed and this is nice and pristine, because this is actually still my original Super Nintendo from when I was a kid, and it's still in very pristine condition. I'm very happy about that. But I do prefer the look of this. Now, I also prefer the look of the cartridges to the Super Nintendo cartridges, which I don't know if this will pick up on there or not. If you look, it's the same chipset in there. So you can play Super Famicom games on the Super Nintendo. You just need to make sure that the pins that are, fit into the backs here, which is down inside your slot there, are cut out with an X-Acto knife, because if you notice, they don't have that slot on the back there. But anyway, I do prefer the looks of these cartridges to the Super Nintendo ones. The only thing I don't like about these, which unfortunately carried over to the N64 carts, was that there's no spine label. So it's kind of hard to display your loose cartridges in an effective manner with the Super Famicom as opposed to the Super Nintendo. But it's got that very sleek, contoured look, whereas the Super Nintendo ones, mimics the boxiness. And, I mean, in all honesty, these just look more like, these look better, I also really like the Japanese artwork. Very, very stark, very simple. And then the Super Nintendo one, of course, we have to, put a bunch of stuff on the label there. I'm not sure how well that picked up. We'll see. Another thing I really like better, and unfortunately I don't have a 1-to-1 ratio, is the boxes. Whereas the Super Famicom boxes come in these very slim, little boxes where they more often than not, the cover is really left open for just the artwork. Whereas the Super Nintendo boxes are a lot bigger. Let me see if I can hold it up there. You can see it's a lot, taller and a little bit, shorter. And of course, we have to have all this extra nonsense right here, when really all we want is just that big Zelda label, huge. I don't know. There's just something. I don't really collect Super Nintendo games in the box because I don't really like Super Nintendo boxes, and they're kind of hard to get here in the States, but I love collecting Famicom games in the boxes because the artwork is just fantastic. And usually when they bring these games over, they change the artwork, and it's never as good as the Japanese artwork. I don't know why they just don't keep the Japanese artwork. They also discussed the controllers in that video, and I do have to say that out of the two of them, I prefer the Super Famicom again, even though, you know, I do like the contoured buttons of the Super Nintendo, because when I'm sitting there playing, I mean, I'm not going to forget what button's what, but like when I was playing when I was playing Street Fighter 2 Turbo, it was always easy for me to remember, you know, which is which, because the contours would be the punches, and the concave ones, or no, I can't remember which is concave and convex, but the ones that are indented in would be the punches, and the ones that are rounded would be the kicks. So that was nice for the little kids. But I do like the color of the buttons better, because, I don't know, it just pops better. And I like, the only thing I don't like about the Super Famicom controller is, I don't know if you can get this on the camera with the power of widescreen there, but the cord is ridiculously short. Whereas the Super Nintendo, of course, I mean, it just kind of keeps on going there, you know? I mean, the cable for the Super Famicom is at least half as short. And I don't know if that's because Japanese households are maybe smaller, because they have to, you know, fit more people into a more confined space, or what. But that's the only thing I don't like about this controller. And I was actually thinking about switching out the internal chips to a Super Nintendo one, so I can use this one more often. But that is just a quick video. I do prefer pretty much the Super Famicom on all fronts to the Super Nintendo, except for the whole Japanese language thing. But this was a console that I saw, and this was the one that I wanted. And, you know, Japan got this, and I believe this was the same console as what the PAL regions got. So I don't know why they felt the need to redesign the entire thing for North America. But out of the two, I definitely prefer the look of the Super Famicom. So I'm going to put a link to Johnny's original video down in the box there. Guys, go ahead and leave me a comment. Tell me what you like better. Do you like the Super Famicom better, or do you like the Super Nintendo better? Does it even matter? Do you even care about the Super Famicom at all for, you know, the North American people? And, you know, just, yeah, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.